Hello, this is Truth Be Told Transformation, here to share tools for transformation to live your highest truth. In 2024, my final episode was about the astrology of 2025, and I'm so excited to have my first episode of 2025 be more about astrology, specifically Chinese astrology. I'm welcoming back to the show Master Clarice Chan. Hi, Master Clarice.
Oh, hi, Bonnie. Good. How are you?
Happy
I'm
New
so glad to
Year.
be here.
Yeah,
Happy New
absolutely.
Year
I
for
just
the first time.
exactly. Last time we spoke, it was ahead of your appearance at the Conscious Life Expo here happening in Los Angeles, February 9th through 10th. And I can't believe it's been a year, Clarice, and since we've spoken. And I'm very excited that you'll be coming back, and hopefully I'll get a chance to see you in person. Tony Sweet and I will be there for sure on that Friday. And we look forward to hearing more about what you'll be talking about, as well as, I told you we titled the show Year of the
Year
Snake.
of the.
Yeah. So why don't we start? Yeah. Why don't we dive right into what's to come? Tell us the date, tell us about the snake, and tell us more specifically about this year's snake.
Yes. Okay. So this is the year of the Yingwood snake, but it hasn't
Yinwood.
actually arrived yet.
Okay.
There's always been the many introduction of the year of the snake, so to speak, because the zodiac of the snake usually does come in every year at a specific date and time, and it's not necessarily the 1st of January of the Western Gregorian calendar or the Chinese New Year. So the Chinese New Year this year will be, and I can say this year now because it's 2025. So the year of the Yingwood snake is coming in on the 3rd of February
Okay.
at exactly I beg your pardon, 10:11 p.m. So
Okay.
but the Chinese New Year will start first, and that's on the 29th of January. So that's a few days difference.
Oh, interesting. I did not know about this. Please tell us what the distinction is. The Chinese New Year is the Lunar New Year, correct?
That's right. That follows the lunar calendar, whereas the zodiacal circle follows the solar calendar. So that's why there's always a difference, because the lunar calendar is based on like a full moon and new moon, and now the rest of the zodiac doesn't follow that. And even for Feng Shui, we follow the zodiacal calendar rather than the lunar calendar.
Okay, I see. I see. Thank you. All my years of being interested in this, I am only just seeing the details. And that's what I love about having experts on, is that I get to
Yeah.
go deeper and deeper into these fascinating subjects. So,
So now this year, I beg your pardon.
yeah, please
Yeah,
go for
this
it.
year, the year of the snake coming in on the 3rd of February. That means it's within the 15 days of the Chinese New Year season. So it is deemed to be very auspicious because it's almost like you have a double spring.
I like that.
So yeah, so for the Chinese, they get very excited about it because that means it's an auspicious year, and it is a wood snake year. Last year we have the yang wood dragon, which the yang wood is like a big oak tree, so it's a completely different energy. And this year yin wood is about it's equivalent to like flowers or plant or vine, if you like. And you would like to know that is exceptionally good for the media, publicity, entertainment, podcasting,
Yeah.
video, what do you call that? Platforms. And so it's all very exciting for you and
Okay.
for everyone else that is in this industry.
Let me stay with this. I want to ask a couple points. So
Okay.
you said double spring, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So help me. I think I have some ideas, but I think I might need you to break that down a little bit.
Okay. So some years the Chinese New Year occur after the spring festival, what we call festival or Li Chun, which means establishing the day of spring, which is very different from the Western astrology. How because spring for Western astrology actually starts with, if I'm not wrong, with Aries, the sign of Aries, and
Correct.
that's
Yes.
like
March
sometime later in March.
March
But for us
21st.
is yeah, for us it's always start with the Tiger month. So the Tiger months always begin in early February. That is where they say, in terms of the winter coming into spring, the Li Chun, or the day the zodiac comes in, that is the first stroke of light.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow, I
So
love that.
so yeah.
I'm going
So
to say
it's
something
very
really.
different.
I want to, yeah,
Okay.
let me tell you, I want to do a correlation. It's very interesting. So,
Okay.
in the season of the year, this is kind of by more of the pagan wheel of the
Right.
year.
Yes.
February 2nd, 3rd is that
Yes.
midpoint between winter and spring. So it
Ah.
looks like there's this correlation that's going on there, right?
Right, right, right. Okay, well, I'm so glad to know that,
That's
because there's
cool.
all when I talk about when I meet other astrologer, especially at Conscious Life Expo, where you have different kind of astrologers, then there's always this question as to why is Chinese New Year when it's representing spring, but it is not in April or March, because
Right.
it's totally a different calendar. So because in terms of the season, we divide the calendar into like 24 different seasons
Okay.
instead of four. Yes.
Oh, oh, that's very interesting. That could be a whole other episode sometime.
Yes.
No, that's really great to look at the nuances. But yeah, I'm here to say that I can kind of relate to that point in early February when you start to really feel the days getting longer. So it's
Yes,
not
that's
maybe that
right.
spring
Yeah.
is fully here, but spring is coming.
Right. Yes, that's right.
That's
That's
good.
what it says.
It's the
When you
beginning.
celebrate the lunar New Year, the Spring Festival, that's when the day gets longer, gets brighter, gets warmer.
Definitely something to celebrate. Okay, so let's look at
Yes.
some of the qualities. Let's stay with wood. So you just
Okay.
described the properties of wood. So every year, every sign, any of us, if you look at your Chinese astrology, you're not just the animal, right? You
No,
are
you're not. Yes,
also
that's right.
you also have two other there. You have an element, right?
Yes,
And then
yes.
you have,
So
go ahead,
there's always two elements. So
two
there's
elements.
always
Okay.
the year is divided into like two parts. So the top element known as the heaven stem, and then the lower element represents the year. So what defines the year is the top element. So last year is like Yang Wood Dragon. So then after that's a yang, as in like yang,
Yang,
Yang, yang
strong,
energy.
strong
Yes,
energy, right?
strong
The
energy.
force.
So yes, and then you go into yin. So it's always yin, well, we start with yang, yin, yang. Although when we talk about yin and yang, we always say yin and yang.
Yes.
So now we are going into a yin energy year. So it's a yin wood snake.
Okay. Do yin and yang alternate every year, or could you have
They
back?
do.
They do.
They do.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
You
good.
you won't have two yang year
I mean, it's just as well,
consecutively.
right?
Yeah.
So before we go into talking about what the vibe could be for this year, tell me how you felt the Yang Wood Dragon, how that played out last year.
Well, I feel that the yang energy year is more is stronger, as in it was a strong year.
Yeah.
Everything almost happens simultaneously, and there are a lot of surprises.
Um,
And events are more, I would say, it's more turbulence, you know. There are more turbulence in the world, but there are also many good side of it. I believe, you know, there are parts of the year whereby the economy is better, the stock market's better, as compared to previous year. There are more action. So it's a more action, if I like to put it into one way, it's a more action-packed year.
Can you please
Well,
elaborate on how you described the yang wood? You mentioned a big, mighty old oak tree. Can you describe that
yes.
energy, that property of wood a bit more?
So the property of wood, when, how do I say this? So you can define yang wood as humans because they are people standing tall.
Mm.
So you can also define them into. I mean, there are many elements, many ways you can break them down into many things. I'm not sure how to actually say that, except the energy is one that it's more dynamic. It spreads out. It is also inviting. So there's many things about the year of the yin yang wood that people like because everything about Yangwood is more like it's about growth and it's about upward growth and it's about spreading out. Of course, we talk about that, you can have two sides of that. When it's growth, it's dynamic, but at the same time, it's also talking about people being stubborn, being persistent, being I want to do certain things my way. There's no two way about it.
Mm.
Either it's going to be love or war. I mean, that's kind of energy that you actually can look at. You know, something about the yang wood energy.
All right. So that's, very last year. So talk to us about yin wood, and then we'll get more into the snake.
Yeah. So the yang wood is a completely different energy. So when we talk, I mean, sometimes we get people talk about a yang being strong and a yin being weak. That is not quite true because the yin wood energy can be as strong as the yang. So, but they are just different. So, so the yin wood can, I mean, in terms of the element, we can talk about it like as though it is like a flower blossoming. It's like a plant growing. Like if you look at the grapevine, how it can grow into this, beautiful eventually, it spreads across the fields, or it can a vine can just grow and spread across the house over a period of time, and it can make everything beautiful. So, although we call it a yingwood snake, and some people call it a wood snake, I call it a flower snake because it represents beauty.
Oh, that's lovely. That's
Yeah,
so encouraging because the term
yeah.
snake, you're not,
Well, the
but
yes, I understand. Yeah, sorry.
help us appreciate it more.
Now, in many cultures, the snake is like a sign of rebirth.
Yes.
And if for the Chinese, if you dream of the snake, they say that you're going to strike lottery, you're going to be rich, you're going to have
Wow.
prosperity. So it's not a bad or a negative element zodiac at all. So of course, then when we talk about the other side of it, then you talk about the snake being like a serpent or like a monster, or the Garden of Eden and so forth. But the actual zodiac of the snake, or when in many cultures, is a sign of birth, a sign of rebirth. So things, old chapters may die, but new chapters will begin.
Mm.
So it's not scary at all.
I've definitely been hearing a lot of messages about sort of out with the old. I mean, not just
Yes.
the New Year's end of the year vibe, but other
No, no,
things,
yeah.
just like really letting go of maybe blocks to one's energy and things like that.
Yes. So if you compare the snake, if you look at the snake and the yin wood, they kind of have the similar energy because the yin wood, we talk about a vine, how it grows, how it
Yeah,
spreads. And then you see the snake, how it slither around.
right. I mean, you're right.
Yes.
Because
So,
vines, you
yeah.
would, and in fact, that's even a verb that the
Yes.
vines snake up the fence,
Oh, yes, of course.
right?
Yes. So
Interesting.
it's still upward growth. It just
Okay.
can be spreading in all directions.
Hmm.
Whereas you don't see a tree spreading in all directions. They grow this way, they go upward. So they're more rigid. So the
Oh.
yin wood is more flexible.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now the yin wood is also the snake is also in terms of element. I mean, they do represent element. They're not just a snake. So the element of the snake is fire. So when you have a yin wood and the snake, you can see in terms of element is wood, oak. You have wood on top, and then there's fire at the bottom, and wood feeds to fire. So I can say that it usually is said that it's a more dynamic year because fire is a very welcome element in
Yes,
our economy, in our everyday life.
that's
So
great.
because it's optimism, it's excitement, it's adventure, it fuels the market, it gives people a sense of hope. It's bright, it's warm, it's positive. And we have 3 fire years coming up. So the snake, the horse, the goat, they're all fire years.
Hmm.
So in terms of elements, we can say that I know there are a lot of predictions that um, because of the planets in the way they are aligned, there's going to come about big change or extreme, there's going to be extreme changes. There might be, but I mean, that's the difference between Western astrology and Chinese, because astrology is about the stars in the sky, and then the Chinese astrology is about the elements that are around us,
Oh, I see.
the plants, the trees, the animals, the water, the earth. Is all about us, all about earth. So, and how it works for us. So in terms of like whether this is a good year or a bad year, I mean, of course, we can't just say good or bad. I'm sure there are the tip sides of it, but it is deemed to be a brighter and more auspicious year according to the Chinese elements.
I'll take it. It's encouraging. It's encouraging, and I really like hearing the distinction between Chinese astrology being more earthbound versus
Yes, it's all
only,
about us. Yes.
yeah, yeah, that is also, I am having many epiphanies here today. Thank you. This is really, really great.
Great.
So,
Thank you.
have you applied the flower snake to your own
Mm.
personal year, Master Chen? Have you taken a look
Well,
to see what it means? So
you
maybe you'd
know,
like to tell us which sign you are and
yeah, I am born in the year of the ox.
okay.
So that the ox is well, I'm born in metal ox, so that is more like that I would say that I lack fire. So I do welcome the year of years that have fire
Okay.
because I'm born in winter as well, according to the season. So it's cold. So I love to have fire. So that's why I'm colorful because these are fire colors.
Oh, nice. Okay,
And
yeah.
and of course, if you talk about the Yingwood snake, if you talk about it being good for entertainment, media, publicity, well, I get to come on your show.
Thank you. What a beautiful way to get things started for both of us, for sure.
Yes,
Well, it's
yes,
true. Yeah, I mean, hey, I look forward to hearing more about that, and just because whatever, I mean, media. I've been involved with media and entertainment for so long. So it's interesting that you feel good about this being an auspicious year for us. And I live in Hollywood, so I mean, we've had a couple of bad years in Hollywood, unfortunately, because of the strikes and things like that. So maybe we'll turn the
right.
corner because goodness knows people for sure listen to, consume entertainment. I mean, we
Yes,
need
yes,
the
I do.
escape
Yes,
that's provided. So
yes.
I think
And
that's
what
wonderful.
zodiac sign do you belong to?
So I'm a dragon.
Oh,
Yeah. So
nice.
I just had, yeah, I'm a wood dragon. So no, this
So,
was last year was my year.
yeah, how was that?
Oh, mostly grand. But it was a lot. That would be one of the things I would have said about my year. It was just a lot. I mean, and more is not always more. But
Mm-hmm.
there was just it was pretty much nonstop. So other than that's why I needed the
Wow.
entertainment because I'll sit myself down with a blanket and watch a show. You know what I mean? Because it's like makes
Right,
me sit
right.
still and watch. Um,
So,
so
yes,
yeah,
that
I mean, I can't complain. It was really quite magnificent in a lot, which was my word of the year last year. So
right.
I
Yeah,
would say, what do you think
that's
about?
very wonderful to hear because, last year is supposed to be for dragons, it's supposed to be their clashing year. So I always say that, but that means you were born in the year of the Yang Wood Dragon. Am I correct?
That is true.
Yeah. So if that be so, then usually it can be very dynamic. It can be, like you said, a lot of things happening at the same time. And this and this and this year for the but it can be difficult for some of the dragons as well. There are five different type of dragons. They have the metal dragon, the wood dragon, the fire dragon, the earth dragon, and the water dragon. And it's not the same for everyone. It's whether the energy promotes them or depletes them, and then they can, and some of them will feel good about it, like it sounded good for you. And now, then this year, 2025, that's, a good year for the year of the, for people born in the year of the dragon as well.
Well, tell me, how do dragons and snakes interact? Like, what's the dynamic?
Okay, right. They're different energy. So actually, the dragon energy is more an earth energy.
Oh,
So whereas the snake is a fire, but fire produces earth.
yeah.
So, meaning to say that there's going to be a lot more, um, how do you say, a lot more support coming to people born in the year of the dragon. Of course, it's depending on which time of the year they are born in, it could be very, very different. But, definitely it will be a supportive and dynamic year for them, but they will be pushed to create
Okay.
yeah, so this is going to be one of their creative and productive year. But
All
the
right.
dragon, if you talk about dragon like in Chinese mythology, then you talk about, say, dragons are always very different from Western dragons. Yeah, the dragon in Chinese is always dynamic because it represents the emperor,
I see.
and
Yeah.
it's always flying in the sky, whereas the snake is the cousin,
Right.
and there is more earthbound.
True.
So one's got that, heaven energy, and one's got the earth energy.
Uh, the
So that's how we compare, not astrologically, but more elementally, and also if you think about it in terms of mythology, that's how they compare. They like the dragon, but they're not the dragon.
right. They're cousins.
Yeah, yeah,
They're close
yeah.
cousins.
Yes, they even I mean, if you look at them, some of them, especially when they're younger, when you talk about, you know, um, you're talking about a mystical animal here. When you talk about a dragon, they do look alike. They do have scales. They may have, horns or whatever. They do look alike in many ways. If you look like a field dragon in the field, they are miniature dragons, but they're
It's
not.
it's really interesting. The whole mythology around dragons is just so interesting to me. I mean, it's because there's Western and Eastern, right? I mean, the dragons of
Right.
China, but there was the dragons that also existed in Europe. I don't know if there were dragons in Africa, but I don't, I think they
Well,
were
they
in
they
Central America.
but I thought they were part of like the dinosaur and
Yeah,
era.
must be.
Yeah, and they evolve, but somehow the dragons always represent the emperor. So we always refer to the dragon as the emperor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also there's a difference between the emperor's dragon, which has five claws, one, two, three, four, five. and the regular dragon has 4. So that's how we distinguish them when we look at a picture of the dragon, whether it's just a regular dragon or an emperor dragon.
I see. Okay, so I'm going to learn more about that, and that could be a whole other session that you and I will do sometime. Is a deep
Okay.
dive on my astrology. So I'm kind of putting this all together as we go here, Master Clarice, and
Right.
I'm wondering if, since you told me that there's never a yang year, like a back-to-back year of yang
Yes.
energy,
Yes.
does that
Yes.
mean that does the snake always follow the dragon?
Yes, because that's the 6th astrological sign.
Okay.
So it starts with like the rat, and then you have the ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake. So it's in that sequence. It's like the same as Capricorn, Aquarius, and then you have Pisces, Aries, Taurus. You don't
Okay.
get them back to front or different every year. It's the same. It's the
That
same
would make sense.
sequence
Okay.
every year.
That makes perfect
Yeah.
sense. I still have
Yeah.
New Year's Eve brain, so I could have figured that out. But I'm glad that but here's one of the things that I want to ask about that.
Right.
Do you is there a cycle of growth that goes with us going from dragon into snake? In the same way, for example, in the Western astrology, the Aries, it's the start of the zodiac, right? And they're young and fiery, and I can do anything, and very, me. And then as you progress, I feel like there are qualities that are associated with each sign that shows a progression in the person, in the human as well. So I'm just wondering, as Chinese astrology was charted, was it with that progression in mind, that maybe after intense sort of a higher, like the dynamic, both yang as well as dragon, does the snake bring us down so that we kind of reset and move in a new way? And that's sort of how it's meant to be in the cycles of astrology for humans.
I don't think it was charted with that purpose in mind, but it's more based on the seasons, the 4 seasons.
Okay.
So if you talk about Aries being spring and bring fire, so is the snake. So that's the actually we've been, gosh, I've been always talking. Whenever I get to talk to Shima Moore, who is the Conscious Life Expo co-founder,
Yes.
we always say, how can we make Western astrology and Chinese astrology meet? And I've been looking at it ever since I met her.
That's so great.
Is that the only thing that I feel that they do meet is based on the 4 seasons.
Okay. Yeah.
So because the water season, which we term as the winter season, so that is November, December, January, and then the spring season is February, March, April.
Yeah.
Then the summer season, it's the same as the regular season, Then you have the fire season coming out, which represents summer, and that represents the snake, the horse, and the goat, and that is also the same for the month. So I'm not sure I'm answering your question, but if you say progression, then yes, water grows wood. So the winter water grows the spring wood, and the wood feeds to the fire of the summer, and then the fire grows earth, which is going into we don't have a pure earth season. We have inter seasons. So, and then you go back, you go to the metal season. We have an element that Western astrology do not have. So we have the metal season, which the earth grows into metal, and metal, because it corrodes in water, it grows into water. But at the same time, that is called the productive cycle. On the other hand, we also have the destructive or the controlling cycle, where you have fire burns metal. You melt the metal so that it can produce beautiful jewelry for you, so to speak.
It's really
so
cool.
that is the for the fire element, the metal element is the wealth element, and for the water element, water destroy fire. So water is for water, the wealth element is fire as well. But it doesn't destroy, it controls, it kind of puts out fire, or you can add more water. You can put a candle on water and it still works.
Right.
So it's not that direct destruction, but it's what it represents. And for the wood last year, like the yang wood dragon, that is, the yang wood sitting on its own wealth element. So I think there's a lot of wealth that was being tapped into last year, lots of money being spent.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah.
Last year was more like, I get what I want, this is what I want. So therefore I go out and get it. This year, because it's wood growing fire, it's more like I like to, I have a vision. I like I like to make this beautiful film. I like to grow this beautiful empire. And how am I going to do it? So that's the different energy between the two.
Yeah. It feels like it feels kind of like a fresh energy in a lot of ways.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah. I mean, I
Because it
suppose
is the
always at the
start of that.
Yeah. So is there a progression through the year with the energy
Mm-hmm.
of this flower snake?
Yes. Okay. So, like I said, there's two parts of the energy, right? You have the wood, and then you have the snake. So usually the wood represents the first half of the year.
Okay.
So it starts from February, March, April, May, June, July, and then the snake energy actually comes in from August, where it becomes stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Now the snake, although it's a fire energy, when it comes to autumn, when the snake meets the monkey, it forms water. So it completely transforms. So then when the snake meets the ox and the rooster, they transform into metal. So it's not a fixed sign.
Yeah.
It's more like mutable in Western astrology.
So when you say that it meets the monkey, how does that happen?
Okay, when the snake meets the monkey means the snake, the year of the snake, when it goes into August.
Uh-huh.
That is the month of the monkey.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's when they transform. And after the monkey is rooster, they change again.
I love this. I feel like I
Yeah,
should know this, but there's just so much to know. I mean, I think I'm finally having a slight grasp on Western astrology, tiptoeing into Vedic, and now I feel like this is hitting home a lot for me today, Clarice. Thank you for letting me ask what
thank you.
I feel when you answer them. They feel like I've asked a dumb question.
No, nothing is dumb because, everything is relevant. It's all,
I hope
everything is
others are
relevant.
learning as I am. And I really like that you have this, you're trying to sort of show us an overlap between Chinese and Western astrology, because you're helping, and by doing so by watching the seasons is a great way to do it.
Yes, it's lovely. I mean, also the Chinese New Year usually occur on the first Aquarius moon.
Right. So,
Yes,
the first Aquarius, but it's always the
new
new
moon,
moon, right?
new moon. Yes,
Is that the first new moon of the year?
I believe it is.
I think it is, because the last new moon was on the 31st of
Yes,
December. So it wasn't yet the new year. Maybe it was in some places. I have to think about that.
yes.
But I'm pretty sure that your Lunar New Year, and it's not only in China, right? It's all over Asia.
All over. Yes, it's all over Asia, or any cultures that celebrates that uses the lunar calendar.
Got it.
They do celebrate the Lunar New Year.
Yeah.
I mean, just because we are Chinese, it's the Chinese Lunar New Year.
Yeah. Yes. Well, and I just want you to know that I'm seeing, as somebody who is involved with marketing, I'm already seeing many people talking about the year of the snake coming, and Chinese or the Lunar New Year. It's already,
Yeah.
we're weeks away, but it's already a buzz because we always are looking for something to celebrate.
It's slithering in as quickly as we speak.
I look forward to it. Now, tell us a little bit more about your upcoming workshop. Thank you for giving us so many great details, and we want to know
Thank
about what's going to
you.
happen at Conscious Life Expo this year.
Well, I arrive on the 5th of February. The festival starts on the 7th, right? It's a
Yes.
Friday. 10:30 in the morning, we have the opening ceremony or the welcome session. I've once again been asked to do the Chinese New Year blessing for
Oh,
the show. So
wonderful.
along with a few other practitioners from I'm not sure who they are at this point. And then on Saturday, I have my free workshop, which I believe is at 2 p.m. It's called Prosper with the Yingwood Snake.
Okay.
And then on the Sunday at 3 p.m., I believe it is, I will be on the Astrology Roundtable. I'm on the panel basically. So, and on Monday, which is the post symposium, I have another workshop. It's how to make the year, how to work with the year's energy for your personal growth. Unlocking the Yingwood Snake year, that would be which is based on Chinese astrology. So that is on Monday itself at 11 a.m. And then, of course, I have my book signing, which is just after my workshop, my free workshop on Saturday. That will be about 3:30 in the afternoon on the mezzanine. And also, I will have a table for personal readings after my post symposium at about 1 o'clock in the also on the mezzanine. So it's a full pack,
You're going to be
action
so
packed
busy.
weekend for me.
Tell us about your book. What is your book?
Okay, the year of the Yingwood Snake. When this came up, if you can you see, can we see?
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, when this came up, it was interesting that I said to I have a new designer, the book designer this year. So when this came out, the year of the picture of the year of the snake. Oh, thank you. You've got one.
Thank you,
Oh, I'm
Tony
happy to see
Sweet.
that. Yeah. And so when it came out, it was very interesting how I feel that the year's energy manifested. It came true because look at the snake. It's surrounded by flowers. So it's like a yingwood snake, but it's a flower snake, you know. So I feel that the year came true at the time. I mean, the year of the energy of the snake, kind of like, hey, I'm here, you know. So and then we actually went into the energy of the snake. Actually came in November.
Oh, why?
Yeah, so that's why we
Is that the snake month?
no, it's the pig month because that's the clash of energy that produced the spark.
Okay. So
So
what
it
is it about
draws in the
November?
energy.
Is it because November, December, three
It's the
months,
month.
3 months prior?
No, it's not always in November, but the November itself is the month of the pig, and the pig is the one of the signs. In fact, is the direct clashing sign to the snake year. So that
Ooh,
brings forth that right, you know, like here I am
interesting.
energy.
Okay. It's all coming into my brain. I'm figuring this out. Fascinating.
Oh,
Oh my God, there's
I find
so
it fascinating that you know so much about, you know, Chinese astrology, the New Year. But of course, and then I'm very happy to hear about that zodiac wheel you talk about with the pagan, the calendar.
right. And
I
I
must
mean,
look more into that. Maybe that's where I can find the East meet West
I'm really
part of
interested to
the
see.
puzzle.
We're going to have to talk about that. Maybe I'll be able to catch
Yes,
you some in between your, appearances, your hourly appearances at Conscious Life. Maybe I can grab you and we'll
sure,
discuss.
sure.
There's so much to know.
Yeah,
So,
we can delve deep into that. Yeah.
you want to leave us with some parting words about this year to come? We're really excited to see you.
So I think one should be prepared that, you know, in the year of the snake, whereby sometimes it can seem like nothing is happening, but everything is happening underneath it, because you know the growth of the snake can be very strong, but it can be unseen. There are four clashing signs of the year. The people who are born in the year of the tiger, the snake, the pig and the monkey, they are the clashing sign. They should take care of their personal health. They should be, it's also a year of change, whether that change is a dynamic change or a challenge or a challenge. One should be flexible and go with the flow of that changes. So the other thing about the four clashing sign is that the monkey is supposed to be one of the most compatible sign to the year of the snake, which means that they have that double-edged sword, where on one end they are clashing sign, which means they can meet with challenges and changes. On the other hand, they are the harmonious sign, which means that at the end of the day, they're still going to benefit from any challenges that they may come across. The year is still going to have a lot of blessings for them. And this is, I mean, the year of the snake is a dynamic year. It's the beginning of the fire season. And therefore, there is much more to look forward to. There's a lot of optimism, adventure, excitement. There's a lot of growth as well. And a lot, it's a more entertaining year. It's not a year whereby we go and just let's make money, but it's a year that we look at everything else around it. So it's, look at your resources, look at how you can make your life more exciting would be one way of helping yourself in 2025.
Thank you. You know, a word that comes to mind, flourish.
Yes.
We have the chance
Flourish,
to flourish.
yes.
You know, how
It's
you talk about the flowers.
to,
So that's really it's beautiful. It really is.
yeah.
Thank you.
In the card of the tarot, the where it comes through in some of the design of the snake is the world card.
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
Card number 20, the year card. The 2 is also like a snake.
Beautiful.
It's also slithering.
I'm going to go take a look at that.
Yes.
Very, very interesting.
Yes.
Maybe that's a
Yes.
card for the year to contemplate the world
yes.
in your tarot deck, everybody. You might want to pull that one out and have a look. Well, we've got a couple more weeks until we celebrate, and you're going to be coming just after, basically, the official start of the Year of the Snake. So we will for sure celebrate at Conscious Life Expo 2025. Oh my God.
Yay.
I've been going
so
for years. It's about time that we meet, for sure. Thank you so much.
Yes.
This has been wonderful.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year. Gong Hee Fa Choi.
I know that, but I'll practice that for next time. Gong Chi Fa Choi. Okay. Thank you again.
Yeah, Gong Hee Fa Choi or Gong Si Fa Chai, depending where you come from. Bye.
Bye, Master Clarice. This has been fun,
you,
everybody. And again, we are here to wish you a wonderful 2025, regardless of how you're celebrating it and what sign you are. It's going to be auspicious. And, I think what we're trying to do here on this show is to let you know that there are tools to live your best life. Even if the astrology says it's going to be clunky, you can still shine on. And that's what I'm here for. Bonnie Burkert here. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget, Tony Sweet will be on Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific, and the community gathers there on the live chat. So it'd be great to say hi to you all, and see you. And don't forget, speaking of seeing you, Tony and I will be at Conscious Life Expo on Friday, February 7th in the evening. So I think we'll be around all day. If Master Clarice is blessing us at the start, I know I'm not going to miss that. So more episodes to come. This is going to be a little bit of a Conscious Life Expo takeover of our shows, so you can get an idea of different speakers that are coming. We're going to have a blast, and again, it's the new year. And you know what you got to do? Shine on.